Alright guys, we're back again with some hillbilly screwing things up in his garage. We have the 289 here, obviously. You saw the title and the little thumbnail, so you know what's going on. So we started this a long time ago, and just now getting back to it. It was originally, I was going to throw it in the Willys, made it up to the C4 that's sitting over here, but now it's going to go in the Falcon, made it up to the C4 over here. So we got to figure out a whole new engine configuration for the Willys, but the Willys is further off, and the 289 works better in the Falcon, in my opinion. But what I'm going to get into today is, I did a little bit of cleaning on it. I want to go ahead and disassemble it, take a good look at it, see what I think. I want to see if this thing is even worth building. I don't know. Maybe it could be cracked for all I know. The story that I got on this engine is so, it makes no sense to me. It doesn't. It just doesn't make sense to me. Now I was told that this engine had been rebuilt, this, that, and the other, and it is a good looking engine. Cylinder walls and everything look good so far from what I can see. However, I don't know anything about it. I just know what I was told when I bought it for $200, which was, what, a year and a half ago. I bought it for $200. It was one of those Facebook, marketplace type deals, and the story was weird from the get-go. The guy threw in a set of shorty headers. It was on the stand. He said, take the whole thing, including the stand. $200. I was out the door. It's worth a gamble, because if it's a good block, we got ourselves a good builder. We'll go from. I'm just gonna shut up. I'm gonna disassemble stuff. There isn't a whole lot to see, but if I come across something as we're doing this, y'all obviously you'll be here to see. I don't know what else to tell you. That's all I got for you. Alright, so we're going to set up our table here to lay parts out onto. Possibly, maybe. I got so much stuff in the way. Ugh, get out of here. What is going on with you? It's going to stay, I promise. Maybe. We're going to use this look, it's got little doily things on it, or whatever they're called, dingleberries. So we're going to lay stuff out here. So to break things down again, I don't know where my little pen went. Maybe this one might be the one that works. I don't know. We'll use purple. Anyway. So C, this is the engine number. Alright, this is the casting number on the engine. C is for the 1960s. 4 is 1964. This O was a Fairlane. And this E, that stands for it is an engine. Or is built by the engine group, whatever. So we got ourselves a 1964 Fairlane engine. It's obviously a 289. If you go back and watch the video, which I'll link at the end of this video, or whatever, it'll be easy enough to, you can watch when we got this, and we kind of did a little investigating on it. So we're going to take our fuel pump off. Obviously, it's a fuel pump. That's a nice chromey job, I know that much, with horrible overspray on it. And this engine, if you take a look at it, I'll bring you over here. She's been a couple colors. Like, you can tell she was the Ford Blue at one point, and then she went to like a orange or a red, and then to an orange, or I don't know which came first. I don't know, the chicken or the egg on that one. I don't know, is what I'm saying. But she's 3 different colors. She's gooped up. So we're gonna, if it's good, we're gonna get her all cleaned up and all that stuff. Now guys, here's another thing that concerns me on this motor is in the oil pan I found one of these rods that runs down to the oil pump from the distributor. I don't know, there was one hanging out down in the oil pan is what I'm saying. Now, why is that? So did the oil pan or did the oil pump fail at one point on this? And you know, did it get run dry? I don't know. I don't know what happened, but I don't know why, unless they were doing it while the engine was in the car, changing the oil pump. Somehow this dropped out. They said screw it and left it in there. Obviously it's not going to recirculate up through the engine, but I don't know why it was in there. So I have reason for pause on this motor. I'm missing so many tools between the garage and the Falcon and my work van. I'm just going to disassemble this whole engine with a damn speed wrench. So we're going to go ahead and get this oil pump out of here, get it out of our way. Now guys, I'm just kind of lining stuff up over here. Obviously all this stuff is going to get replaced. The oil pump, the fuel pump, the distributor, you know, all that stuff's getting replaced. We're putting new stuff in. I'm not sure how far we're going into this build. There's no telling. I want to get in here and see, you know, what we're looking at even. I mean, is it at a point where we go, oh, let's put this thing back together because she's in really good condition, or do we need to go a little bit further? I could use a flashlight at this point, which I believe is in the Falcon as well. I mean, why wouldn't it be? Why wouldn't it be in the Falcon? All right, guys, new day here on the 289 project. I need to get it off the stand so that we can get this block off plate and this flywheel off of here. Yeah, might be a thing to grab. Let's hillbilly some shit up. What do you say? Do you believe in life after love? I really don't think strong enough, no. You keep pushing me aside and I can't break through. There's no talking to you. Am I doing this? I'm doing this backwards, I think. I don't know. Let's try it and see. Balls. I did. Oh, we're just going to have to crisscross paddywatch it. So there's two options here. It's either going to hold it or it ain't. Let's find out. Alright. I think we can take it off stand. Do you believe in life after love? I would not get underneath the engine there, Western. Then inside me say, I really don't think you're strong enough, no. Woo. Just in case this one isn't marked. Alright. And that's how you want to do it. So this just fits on these dowel pins, obviously, but hey, you just want to drop that right on the ground. See how many teeth you can bust up in the process. Luckily, I don't think we did. We busted up any. We'll clean that up and we'll find out though. This, obviously, I wanted to clean up any hoos and ways. So let's go ahead and start getting this thing. That freeze plug looks good. Plugs look good. Well, I know that something is something. Alright, so we can get this out of the way now, but we're not going real far with it because, well, it's going to come back into play, obviously. Man, this seems sketch to me. I'm literally holding on by a couple bolts here. I'm guessing that's why they had it all hooked up on their funky, which I cannot seem to replicate how they had it now. It'll hold or it won't, right? So obviously when we go to, start putting this thing back together, we'll get it on the stand a little better than this, but for now, it should be fine. So we got our block off plate and our flywheel over here. Let's get them separated somewhere with the bolts that they do in fact require, which are these 3, 6. All right. I'm really not, trying to play a guessing game when this needs to go back together. Now, I think the last time when the camera died, I was trying to get these little weird oil things out, and they came out. Just need a little heat, a little lube, Same thing your girl needs. Warmed up, a little lube. Let's go ahead and pull these main caps again. Now here we got so that's the oil pan gasket there. I'm going to show you all something. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Let me clean it up a little bit. I need some kind of pokey device. I have pokey devices, don't I? Ow! I cut myself. Now, this here, how do I know this engine hasn't been rebuilt? Oh, I'll show you right here. This is the original rope style rear main seal that Ford used. Now, let's get that out of here. We don't need it, but you're going to notice a hole right here. Oh wait, you're going to notice a hole right here on this rear main seal. Now that goes through to this pin. There's a pin on the inside here that you probably can't see, but I'm telling you it's there. Now that pin needs to be removed because we're not going to be using the old style rear main seal. We're going to be using the newer rubber seals. So we got to remove that pin so that we don't puncture our new seal and create a leak. So we'll just remember to do that. I'll try to remember to do it at some point here, but we're moving on for now. So we're going to set these up back over here, and I wish I had something to set these in to let them soak. Maybe I can come up with something. And remember, these are all numbered. You really can't screw them up. I mean, if you pay attention to the number, just remember that the arrow always faces. Now this is number 3. Number 3 is going to have the thrust bearing on it. You got to remember that. Number 3 has the thrust bearing on it. As compared to, and I'll show you the difference here as soon as I pull number 2. So let's get y'all in here. You can see what's going on. So this is number 2. This is just your basic main cap bearing. Fits there. Number 3, I don't know if you can see that, has your thrust bearing on it. And you always want to make sure to get that there on number 3. You're going to be doing a lot more oiling on number 3, right at the middle of the engine. Alright, so I went and got some some warm water with some Dawn in it. I'm going to let these sit in there. I'm going to keep the bolts with each one. I like to put the bolts back where they came from, because I just feel like they've got to know that place. That place has become home to them. Maybe they don't want to move. Maybe they'll fight you when you go to move them. I'm just going to set that over to the side for now. Now I look like I'm having a rave foam party up in here. Alright, so let's move on over. We're going to get this, oh man, it's hot in here. We're going to get this timing chain and everything off. Oh, look at there. Look at that little buddy. So let's go ahead. We don't have to worry about anything because we're going to set this at top dead center when we go to rebuild it. So, you know what I'm saying. Either you do or you don't. Those are your options. So we're going to pull that off there. This should just kind of slide. Come on. There we go, just about got her. Alright. So now we got that off there. And we'll just set all this back over here. And we are just going to go ahead and replace all that. I know that you're gonna. And as I go along, I've got my degreaser mixed up. I just kind of spray stuff because we're going to come through here and we're going to clean this engine. But you know, let's get some pre-soaking going on. Now, if you notice, which I forgot to say anything, if you notice how much cleaner this looks here, well, I got these. I don't have a battery. I'll show you. It's basically a Scotch Brite on a roll lock, and I set the speed down on it. Speed's down on number 1, and I just kind of clean the surface. And we'll be using this a lot on this car or on this engine. But it just helps get all that, you know, because you have excess gasket material and stuff. Cleans everything up. Helps you get a better look at what you're getting into here. Let's check out these rod bearings. What do you think? And then we can get this crank out of here. Start moving forward on this disassembly. Seems to be taking forever. Surely has nothing to do with me. Now this is all stuff that I do also like to keep together. You get you guys over here, we can take a look at these rod bearings together. If you're wondering what this is something somebody left at my house. So, you know, you leave something in my house, not my fault that I use it to clean engine parts. And you can see that's really not too bad. So we're going to set this up. We're going to start setting these back here. Again, like I say, we want to try and keep everything in order. Even though we're not using these parts again, I just want to keep things in order just in case. You never know what's going to happen in your life. If I start just throwing parts around and then I'm like, oh crap. All of a sudden I just need to put this engine back together and get it on the road with all the parts that I had. Well, life does happen, people. Remember, that actually looks really good. Yeah, it looks really good also. I'm just going to pop all these off, guys. If I find something that looks bad, I'll show you. Alright, so we're starting to get quite a bit of wear on that one. This engine is clearly due for a rebuild. Now, with that being said, I don't think it's so far gone that we can't do anything with it at all. I think it'll be perfectly fine, my opinion. But we haven't inspected the block yet or anything. We haven't been looking for cracks yet. But from the story that I got on this engine that it had been rebuilt and stuff, that's clearly a lie, because nobody would have put it back together with that rear main seal, with the rope rear main seal. It just, can you even get those? I'm sure you can get them probably, but nobody's going to do it. We'll dig into it, you know, we'll break out the caliper and stuff and we'll see how we're looking here in just a minute. I gotta let this puppy dog out so he'll stop staring at me. Here you go, buddy. Hold up. Hold on. I'm opening the door right here, buddy. It's raining, little buddy. Alright guys, I'm going to take a quick break, finish off my coffee and stuff. Try to get the energy levels up. You know, they're kind of down today. So, the weather explains why that is. Looks like we're about due for a battery change anyway. But then we'll get this crank pulled out. I got a makeshift table over here. You know, it's just a piece of it's a makeshift table is what it is. Alright guys, let's get back to this. Let's pull this crank out of here, see what we got. So here, look at that. You can't see it. So we got our crank pulled out now. So spray this down with our special degreaser. Which just isn't really a special degreaser. It's nothing I mixed up. It's just something that I bought at the store. And I put it into this. I buy it in a big jug. I put it into this so I can spray it. I would tell y'all what it is, but I don't feel like advertising for people if they're not paying me. So as we pull these pistons out and we slam them onto the ground, because that's what we do. I actually would like to turn the motor for this, but can I? Is it going to hold up? I worry about this because I've only got a couple bolts holding it in. Let's see what happens. So this piston's number 4. Set it there. Now, number 1 and number 5 are the ones that we had the spun bearings on them. So let's take a look. To be honest, they don't look bad, considering that we now know that this engine's never been rebuilt. And listen guys, when you buy something on Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, wherever you're buying something from, just assume that the person isn't telling you the complete truth. In this case, I don't think the guy wasn't telling me the truth. I think he just didn't know. I think he was lied to, from what I can tell. So I'm going to clean this up a little bit, guys, and then we're going to break out the caliper on it, see what kind of condition we're in. So these are where it sits into the journal. This is the ones that the rods ride on, but let's measure them all. 57.2, 57, 56.9, 56.9, 57.2. So we're at 57.2 on the two rear journals, and we're pretty close to that on the other ones. Let's measure where these rods go in. 53.8, 53.7, 53.8, 53.8. I don't think we've done any damage to the crank. Well, I say we, I haven't even run this thing yet. So the crank, I'm going to say is good. Let's see what we got next over here. Now again, as you can see right here, hopefully you guys can see this. Right here we have this thrust washer, or thrust bearing, I should say, yeah. And you can tell the difference on it compared to these other ones. So let's go ahead and pop these bearings out. This is all stuff that's getting replaced. Any hoose, we're just going to use a rubber mallet and a screwdriver. We're just going to lightly, they come out just like that. So I'll show you the difference here if I can catch one of these before it flies out. Alright, so I just got to pick one up off the ground. So this is your thrust bearing, which goes on your number 3 here, your middle one. Now, you notice it's got these little galleys in it, and that's to help oiling. Now, all of them have this on them. Well, all of them have an opening in there, and that's to line up with these openings here to help. That's going to help with the oiling there on all of these. The one in the center just helps distribute that oil a little more evenly because it's going to have those galleys on there. Now let's give this a little spray, and we're going to clean this up a little bit. And we're going to see what kind of, if any, wear we have on these journals. I mean, obviously we're going to have wear, but is it going to be bad enough that this thing needs to go to the machine shop? That's going to be the question, because we are doing stuff on a budget here. But at the same time, I want years and years of reliability. So let's start back here, and this all looks really good. So again, I'm still thinking we got ourselves a good engine. Do we? I don't know. Let's find out. Let's dig in more. So now what we got to do is we need to pull this camshaft out. So just like anything else, you got a thrust bearing here, or thrust washer, whatever you want to call it. Now they do sell new ones that, let's get you down here. Now this thrust bearing, it just sits on here and holds that cam in. Now these oiling ports here, this oiling port here, they sell a new thrust bearing that goes up and covers this hole up, and it's got a groove running down through here, and it helps get that oil to the cam. And that's probably what we're going to go back with, if I can afford it. You know, everything, again, we're on a budget. Now right about now would be a real good time to have one of those fancy like little tools to help pull this camshaft out, but I don't have one. So let's get the bolt. Pull this pin out. Set that over there. Now you don't want to, you want to be careful. You don't want to drag this across there. Removal isn't as important as installation when dragging things. But it's nice where you can get here and you have an extra hand. You know, you have your other hand you can use to help. So, and again, as we unravel this story a little bit more, this was supposed to have a performance cam installed in this motor, and if it did, it would be stamped. This is not. This here is just the factory cam. No big deal. I don't much care. But let's go ahead and put some parts back together here so that we don't lose anything. I'm looking at this cam and I can see a little bit of wear on the lobes, but I mean, the engine was ran. I don't see any real hot spots. I don't see, you know, anything. I don't see cam lobes that are just completely wiped. So again, I'm thinking we got ourselves a really good engine for $200, as long as we still haven't looked to see if there's any cracks in it. Now we'll also check the lifters, but I don't see anything that sticks out at me. This got a little bit of a flaw there on that cam lobe. I don't know if you guys can see in there, see that or not, what I'm pointing at here, but you can see it right here. It looks like that something may have cracked that, or maybe it was just, that's the way it was, you know, machined. I have a hard time believing they, you know, it broke during the machining process, but this was 1964 when this was built, so it's very possible. Either way, I'm not complaining about this at all. This cam is not going back in the car. So if you're wondering why I'm examining the cam if it's not going back in the car, well, because I want to see if there's any pre-existing issues, you know, kind of like your insurance company asks you, you know, like what your pre-existing issues are, you know, because they want to know if it's worth it to them to insure you. You know, are they going to lose, because their insurance companies are crooks. If you got something wrong with you, then you can't get insurance. It's stupid. If you're a bad driver, you can't get insurance. But if you're a good driver, you can get insurance. It makes no sense. You know, the whole world works backwards because it's a Ponzi scheme. Anywho's and ways. Let's go over here. Let's pop these lifters out and let's take a look at them. See if we got anything that's going to tell us, like, you know, it's smashing, hitting, messing up, whatever. So now what I'm looking for on these lifters on the top side is, so your push rod sits down in here and this lifter pushes it and it rides against the rocker arm. Now you're looking for something that's way out, and I already inspected the push rods when we pulled this on the first one and I didn't see anything, and as I sit here and look at this, I'm not noticing anything jumping out at me. Now I do have to remember that I dropped a couple of these on the ground, pulling them out, whatever. They're not going back in the car yet again. We're just doing inspections. So let's take a look at the bottoms of these. Now I am not seeing anything that sticks out at me. I see no problems with any of these lifters. Moving on, I think we got a great motor so far. If you're curious about how this works, these cam lobes, they come around, they push these up. And when that pushes up, you got pressure on this push rod pushing into this lifter. When that pushes up, it's going to push that lifter up, spin it at the same time to help oil. You're getting oil up into your top end through there. So basically these just ride along those cam lobes, up and down, up and down, up, 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 down, up, down, up, down, wicka, wicka, wah. Anyways, moving on. Let's get to other stuff. I don't know what your all skill level is. You know, I don't know, you know, what you guys know. Maybe you're just trying to learn some stuff. So that's where we're at. We're going to degrease this whole thing because I'm pretty sure we got her apart at this point. I can't think of anything left in her. Is there anything left? There's nothing left. Yeah, so let's push her outside and get her degreased. So we forgot to pull the cam bearings. Oops, we forgot to even look at the cam bearings. Looking at the cam, I don't think we got any problems. oh well, is what it is. We'll replace them either way about it. Let's get this thing degreased. Go on that way. Go on. Alright guys, so, well, got the dog caught up. Go ahead, buddy. Go on. Go play. Now, after well, you just watched the time lapse. You saw that after I cleaned her all up, which looks like we got another color on here. Looks like we got a yellow on here as well. So she's been painted, let's see, 4 times. Anyway, so we're gonna, and you'll be seeing me take compressed air and blow out these, you know, the water jackets and stuff, because there's a lot of stuff down in there, you know, a lot of crud, and I want to get it out. But right now I'm going to go through here and I'm going to take this microfiber cloth. I'm just going to clean out these cylinder walls. Just going to wipe them down. Now we are going to hone these, but before we do that, now is the time to inspect this engine block for cracks. Yes, I said it. We're inspecting it for cracks at this point. What has this video been going on for 30 minutes at least, probably? I don't know. But now we're going to start inspecting for cracks. Let's get her all wiped down. And I have yet to find my fancy flashlight. I don't know where it went, unless it's in the trunk of the Falcon, which I think I already checked. So let's break out this flashlight. And I'll let you know if I find anything, but right now everything looks good. I mean, you know, we got a little bit of where the rings have been sitting. We got a little bit of that going on, but nothing. It's not digging in. Doesn't feel like. Yeah, a little ring gap going on, but nothing bad. That needs blown out. There's gunk in there. I don't have any ring gaps that are so bad. There's nothing that can't be rehoned on this. And you know, you can still see a little bit of the cross hatching on this. So I think this was a low mile motor, but at this point it's going to be a 0 mile motor. Now, I'm not seeing anything that's leading me to believe that we have a bad engine here. I see nothing. Like I say, she's a dirty engine, that's for sure. We got to do some more cleaning on her. We'll get into that in the next video. We're really gonna give this thing a good cleaning, go ahead and get some paint on it and start talking about it. I'm going to start doing some research as far as where I want to take this build. Oh, that was gold. I bet that was pretty. Gold. So let's flip her around. You know, I got some cleanup I need to do here. These Fords, they have a two-piece rear main seal on them. So there is the other section of it. Make sure none of the cylinders are cracked. Let's check out these cam bearings real quick. Over here, they actually look pretty good. Now I do want to, what's the cleanest piston I have here? And these have not been stamped. I'm guessing these are the original pistons. So I am going to double check that. I'm going to double check the width of these pistons, or the diameter of these pistons, and make sure that they haven't been bored. Because again, the story that I had was that this engine had been rebuilt and it had a cam in it, which obviously it had a cam, just not a, you know, it was supposed to have a little saucy cam in it, which it doesn't have. All my freeze plugs are in. I think this engine had been painted. I think that's what we're looking at. I think this was a, you know, let's paint it and say it was rebuilt, but it does not look like it's ever been rebuilt. The big tip off is that rear main seal. You're not going to replace it with a rope, with the rope rear main seal, if you do switch this out. So anyway, listen guys, I appreciate y'all watching. Next time we're going to clean this engine up. We are going to go ahead and hone the cylinders. I'll get back to you as far as the pistons go to make sure we'll measure everything, make sure that it hasn't been bored, which I don't believe it has. We're going to start looking into what we're going to do with it. We'll get the cam bearings out, get it painted, get it honed, and that's all going to happen on the next video. I don't know, we may do some other stuff as well. Budget $289 build. Right now we have $200 into this thing, and the dog's caught up again. I don't know how he keeps. Western, come around this way. Come follow me, no, over here, look, you're caught right there. That's all you're caught on, buddy. Now come around here. Now go around there. Go around. Look, now you're not caught anymore, big guy. Anyway, as I was saying, we'll be doing some other stuff. I don't know how far we're going to go in the next video. That'll be left to see in the next video, but that's what I would like to do. I would like to go ahead and get the engine honed and get it painted up, finish cleaning it up, get it painted up, and start talking, maybe get the cam bearings out and start talking about where we're going from there. So y'all stick around. I appreciate you watching. Let's keep tally. Right now, $200. That's what we got into it. I'm pretty sure $200. That's what I gave for the engine, and that's all we got. So $200. Let's see. Each video we'll just add how much money we put into it. How's that? Now we're not going to count time on this. We're talking, this is a budget build. If you're doing it yourself in your garage, you know, pay yourself a little bit of money if you can, but I'm saying pay yourself instead of somebody else. That's what I'm getting at. So right now we've got $200 in it. We got some degreaser and stuff like that. We're not counting that. So yeah, let's let it sit here, let it dry, and we'll get back to it on the next episode. See you guys.